BehindTheGloves.com here with middleweight contender Hugo Centeno. Hugo, talk to us about your last fight. Everybody who saw it saw that incredible knockout that you had. Obviously, weeks before that, you were training with Sean Porter at the Wild Card. You guys were having sparring wars. It was amazing to watch and see. Just talk to us about the preparation for that fight and just the moment when you knocked your opponent out.
Well, the preparation, I mean, really started since my previous fight on the Abner Mares Cuellar card, you know, which was in December. So, excuse me, it was about 8 months of just training, man, with no word. I kept calling and trying to find out when the next fight was. They just said, keep getting ready, we're gonna have something for you soon. February, March, April, it just kept going, man. So I just kept working hard because I felt something was coming up. And I felt like it was gonna be something big. So finally when I got the date with Emmanuel Alim, who was number 4 by the WBC silver champion. You know, 17-0. So the kid was a force to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? Young, hungry, strong, and they offered me the fight, and I said, let's do it. There's no point or reason why not to fight him when it's about the best fight and the best. And so me wanting to move up in the rankings, I said, let's do it. Made the fight happen. Sean Porter came in looking for sparring, and I was like, man, this is like a message from God. You know, this is perfect sparring for me for the Alim fight. So we got going, man, and right away we started off doing 8 rounds, 10 rounds, just pushing each other back and forth, and I feel like it catapulted me to another level. So going into this fight with Alim, I expected a tough 10 rounds because, you know, as Alim was a candidate for a fight of the year. Yeah. Coming off his big victory. He had like a 10-round war or something like that. And so I expected a tough 10 rounds, like a Sean Porter sparring. And going into the fight, I just felt super calm. I was just super ready. And I saw that opening with the hook, and I set it up perfectly in the 3rd round, changing the elevation. And when I feinted it, I mean, the knockout was just, and I honestly expected him to get up because I didn't see how badly he fell. Yeah. And then he landed, but it was amazing, man. The next day I got on social media and that thing went viral. You know, the knockout was everywhere, and so, you know, now apparently I'm a candidate for knockout of the year. So it feels great, man. Now talk to us about what's happened since then, because obviously that fight, as you stated, he was the ranked number 4 and he was WBC silver champ, but they didn't give you the belt. Right. So what happened was this fight was promoted as we were fighting for the WBC silver in the middleweight division. And so going into the weigh-ins, they said, oh, the title's on the line. On the locker room, it said WBC silver championship on the line. Going into the ring, this dude comes out with his title. So I'm like, man, growing up as a kid, anything that has to do with the WBC is your dream. Yeah. You know? And you see guys like Chavez and Sergio Martinez and all these guys holding those type of belts. So, you know, you want to be like them growing up. And so I'm like, man, like, it's right across the ring. I'm about to fight for this title. So after I knocked this dude out, I'm like, strap me up. You know, finally we made a dream come true. And the ref comes over and he's like, the title wasn't on the line. This fight wasn't sanctioned. So Coach Brown, my coach, he's like about to lose it, right? And I'm like, hey, coach, you know, like, let's wait till we get to the locker room. And I was like, what happened, man? Like, I completely lost it. I was like, this is what we had been looking forward to for almost 20 years now, you know? Our dream was like right in front of us. And so apparently he was stripped 2 weeks before, and they let Roberto Garcia and Omar Chavez fight for it. And so now Roberto Garcia has the title. Obviously, you feel you're the uncrowned champion, so right. Just message for Garcia. Man, if you're watching this, man, let's make this fight happen. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes, whatever we got to do, wherever it has to be, let's make this fight happen. Now, you obviously stated you sparred with Sean Porter, and it was like a blessing, it was a message. But for people that might have seen you earlier in your career, they know you've also actually sparred with Saul Canelo Alvarez at Wild Card West, and also you've sparred with Triple G. Right. Talk to us about those sparring sessions and the difference between both fighters. With Canelo, I helped him get ready for the trial fight, so he was still at 54. This was about 2012, 13, I think. Yeah, something like that. And so I was younger. I was fighting at 54 as well. And now, obviously, he's progressed a lot. You know, he has his whole Mayweather moves going on. He's gotten a lot slicker, a lot smarter. His ring IQ's gone up. But at the time, I felt Canelo stronger than I felt Triple G. Because it could be because I was younger. But now that I feel like I've matured more, I helped Triple G get ready for the Rubio fight here at StubHub. And I felt like it's something, you know, I could handle. You know, I held my own for a month up there. And I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot. That's what got me prepared for De La Rosa. You know, and I had a great knockout with De La Rosa.
There was, December, what, 2014 on Instagram, if I recall correctly?
And I had a great knockout that year. So the difference between the two fighters is, I would have to say, I think Golovkin's IQ is through the roof. He always knows where he's at. The experience shows. Always perfectly balanced. Canelo, he's, like I said, man, he's improved a lot. He's very slick, very smart, very explosive. But now we're in the top 5, and these are the guys that I would love to face, you know.
Let me ask you this, since you did spar both of them, obviously the fight, very controversial decision.
Right.
A lot of people say that the draw maybe may have happened. The thing that a lot of people went head over heels was that 118, 110 scorecard. How did you see the fight? How did you look at the fight? Obviously you have nothing to gain by saying either fight or won.
Right.
So you're completely unbiased here.
Right.
So what did you see in that fight? And obviously the WBC ordered an immediate rematch.
Right.
How do you see that rematch going?
Personally, in my opinion, like you said, I have nothing to gain. Going into the fight, I thought Triple G was going to win. I had it like 55-45 for Golovkin. And that's how I felt it played out. I felt like Golovkin was doing enough to steal the rounds. Canelo was doing some very slick moves by making a miss, but I feel like he wasn't capitalizing. He's doing some very great Mayweather slick moves, but I feel like it wasn't enough to steal him the rounds. And so I had it at 8-4 for Golovkin. That's just my opinion. But I feel like by the time the rematch comes around, a fighter could get old overnight. And, you know, Golovkin's not getting any younger. Canelo's only 27, so it's perfect timing for him, you know. And I feel like Canelo's going to make the right adjustment. Hopefully we don't see Triple G get old overnight, and I honestly think Canelo's going to pull it off.
You think Canelo could pull it off?
I think Canelo could pull it off.
Now, 2017 has been a great year. We started off with Leo Santa Cruz versus Frampton, the same night we saw Burchett versus Vargas.
Right.
We've gone Earl Spence, Kell Brook, Joshua Klitschko. Every division has had great fights this year.
Matchups.
So what do you think about 2017, about boxing, that they could gain and regain fans to lead into 2018?
Man, just every weekend we have something to look forward to. I mean, look at tonight. So like a night like tonight, we got 5 cards, 5 killer fights. Santa Cruz, Mares, Lubin, all those guys, man. Like it's just something like sent from heaven for fight fans. You know, boxing's, anyone who says boxing is dead is either biased or doesn't know about boxing, because this sport is nowhere near dead. This sport has just continued to show everyone that boxing's alive and thriving, you know, doing great.
Now, obviously, to end the year, we've already got Joshua versus Pulev coming up. We have Stavern Wilder, the rematch. We have Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vasily Lomachenko. Break down those 3 fights. First off, let's go with Joshua and Pulev. What do you think there?
I honestly think it's a great matchup, but I feel like Joshua just right now, man, I feel like after beating Klitschko, his confidence has gone through the roof, and to him, he's unbeatable. And he's a big guy, you know, and he's very athletic. So honestly, I think it's gonna be Joshua, maybe like mid to late round stoppage.
What about Stavern Wilder too? Obviously, we saw the first match. It was in Las Vegas about a year or 2 ago.
Right.
We saw how that happened. Do you think same outcome, or do you think Stavern could do something different against Wilder?
I'm a big Stavern fan, man. So I'm a little biased because I think he's a great heavyweight. He's a little on the smaller side for heavyweight compared to, you know, Deontay Wilder and Joshua. But it's tough, man. You know, Deontay Wilder, even though he hasn't been boxing for that long, he's very athletic, he's very long, and he's learned how to use his reach. Very strong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I hope Stavern, you know, I feel like last time I think he had I don't know, dehydration,
Yeah,
something like that. But I hope he comes well prepared, man, and he becomes a champ.
Now, if Wilder and Joshua pull this fight off, obviously everybody is going to be clamoring for that fight.
Right.
How do you see that playing out?
Well, I was just talking about this the other day. I honestly think the speed and explosiveness of Wilder can take on Joshua.
Really?
Because, yeah, that's what I think. Even though Deontay Wilder is the lighter guy, I feel like he's quicker on his feet and he's a little more athletic than Joshua. Not taking anything away from Joshua, because especially in the heavyweight division, Joshua showed he could go into later rounds and knock someone out. But I just feel like Deontay Wilder has shown since the Sparring fight what he's made of. You know, he can go 12 rounds, he can use the ring, and he can explode, and he's a fast heavyweight.
Now let's go with Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vasily Lomachenko. Great fight. Obviously, a lot of people are seeing that Guillermo Rigondeaux's coming up too much in weight. They see that as the big difference. Is that really the big difference, or could skills pay the bills here when it comes to Guillermo Rigondeaux? Let's not take anything away from Vasily, because he's got the skills too.
The thing is, man, the skills for both those guys are just through the roof. It's just like skill set. Those guys almost make it seem like they're not even human, you know what I mean? And honestly, I have a 50-50 right there, man. I feel like it could go either way. Rigondeaux, he's very crafty, he moves, but I feel like he doesn't have the power at his weight, so moving up in weight is not going to help him anymore. So he's going to have to try to outbox a master boxer, you know, so it's going to be tough. So that's where I feel like I give Vasily the edge. He's going to be comfortable at weight. He's very slick, very smooth, but I don't know, man, I have 50-50.
Now back to you. Obviously, you said you're in the top 5. There's Canelo, Triple G, Charlo, Lemieux, even Cotto if he wants to fight at that weight, you know? So just who do you want to fight? Who do you want to come up to next? Obviously, you want to fight these bigger guys.
Right.
Who do you want to get to that position?
Honestly, man, I would love to fight any of those guys. I feel like even just being considered and put among the elite of the top 5 in the world and one of the most stacked divisions in the world is an honor. So, you know, anyone in the top 5, let's do it, man. I'm all for it.
And finally, where can the fans follow you, get to know more about you, and just get to see your training?
To all my fans, I love you guys. Without you guys' endless support, I would not be where I'm at today. You guys motivate me endlessly, and I love each and every one of you guys. For those of you guys who don't know me and aren't following me, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Hugo Centeno Jr. Thanks, man.
Thanks for the time, Hugo.
It's Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking right here.